four that I'm about to mention are really grounded in sort of my work and looking at, in my master's, like really doing a deep dive into the experts in the field of friendship, social connection, and loneliness, and kind of distilling down what I feel are kind of the four key components that must be at the base of any meaningful relationship. And these are...
You're naming some components that I think as well are some of the building blocks of your web-based app. Can you say a little more about that, like why these are important?
Definitely. And I'll preface this by saying there are many, many building blocks that are necessary in building and maintaining meaningful friendships. Four that I'm about to mention are really grounded in sort of my work and looking at, in my master's, like really doing a deep dive into the experts in the field of friendship, social connection, and loneliness, and kind of distilling down what I feel are kind of the four key components that must be at the base of any meaningful relationship. And these are mutual vulnerability, the capacity to feel that you are truly accepted for who you really are by someone else, not who you present yourself to be or who you think you should be, but that you feel you can share your true self, the good and the bad, the joy and the sadness, that you can come to that relationship with sort of the whole host of your lived experience and your human experience.
Right.
And that you are accepted for that. So that's the first one. And that's sort of like, Brene Brown, Vivek Murthy, Lydia DeWorth, like the leading kind of like speakers, researchers, writers on this topic, all kind of focus really on that key element. The second two are really sort of the unique component of my work, and what I've distilled down is something that has kind of been under the surface, but and that we don't really have awareness around in our relationships, but that when you draw it out to the forefront, you realize how essential it is. And that is generosity and reciprocity. And so if we bring this back to why is this important, it's because when you feel that you are contributing to a relationship and that they are contributing to you, you feel like you matter in the relationship. And you feel like the relationship matters to you in your life. And those two things are ultimately the key to belonging. Because when you can, without feeling like you have something to offer the friendship, and this is not in any kind of transactional way, it's like a foundational way. So it's like rooted in a sense of self-worth as well. And so when you feel that you have something to offer, and that could be like a shoulder to cry on.
Right.
It doesn't have to be something tangible. It can be like you help your friend, with their taxes, just something like that, or you educate them on something that you're super passionate about that they didn't know about. And vice versa. When you have that flow of generosity and reciprocity, whether that is knowledge, skills, or just time and energy, that's when a relationship feels meaningful. And that brings us to our last component, which is ongoing energy. So energy flows where attention goes. When you feel accepted for who you are, you feel that you matter in the relationship and that it matters to you, you want to devote more time and attention to the relationship. And when both people want to devote time to the relationship because ultimately they do feel like they're growing from that relationship, they are gaining something from the relationship, that's what builds consistency. And we need consistency. We need about 50 hours, of time spent with someone to form a relationship. And then like 200 hours, to really feel as though it's like deeply meaningful.
So it takes energy and time, of course.
It does. But we want to only devote time to things that nourish us and that we feel like we're evolving through the reciprocal dynamic of the relationship. And so those are the 4 elements of kind. And those are what we have built into the foundations of how we help people make friends in our application. And that is what is so different than what is currently out there, which is very much based around more superficial kind of components of a matching algorithm.
If you found this useful, everyone, feel free to share, like, and maybe if you haven't already, subscribe. Appreciate your time.